What if I told you that you could get all the essential insights your development team needs, but for 95% less than what the big guys are charging? Well, that's the big promise behind a new tool called CodePulse, and in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly how it pulls it off.
But, before we jump into the how, let's talk about the why. If you've ever been in charge of a software team, you've probably asked yourself this question, maybe while screaming into a pillow. Why on earth are the tools we need to understand our own code so ridiculously expensive?
Just to put a number on that pain, look at this. For a team of 500 engineers, the annual bill for repository analysis can hit $500,000. Yeah, you heard that right. That's a huge tax on innovation, and it's the exact problem CodePulse is designed to solve.
And that crazy high cost leads us right into our first big problem, which we're calling flying blind. See, when teams can't afford these critical tools, they're basically forced to make decisions about code health, security, and performance completely in the dark.
And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about some nice-to-have data. We're talking crucial insights from tools you've probably heard of, like CodeClimate, SonarQube, or Snyk. They offer essential intelligence, but their pricing models, usually per developer, often put them way out of reach for startups, open-source projects, and honestly, even a lot of medium-sized companies.
But the problem goes a lot deeper than just the price tag. It's what the folks behind CodePulse call the triple threat of vendor lock-in. It's this nasty combination of factors that costs you way more than just money.
First, there's the obvious one, the cost. These platforms can charge anywhere from $10 to $50 per developer every single month. For one person, that doesn't sound too bad, right? But as your team grows, that bill just explodes. You're literally being penalized for your own success.
Second, you've got the customization problem. These giant, monolithic tools force you into their one-size-fits-all box. You end up paying for 100 different features when you only need 10, and you have no way to add that one custom metric that's actually vital for your business. And third, and this one is huge, is the control problem. Your code, your data, your company's secret sauce is running on someone else's computers. You're completely at the mercy of their security, their downtime, their decisions. For any company in a regulated industry, that's often a complete non-starter.
Okay, so this is where the numbers really tell the whole story. This table breaks down the annual cost for that same 500-person team. On one side, you have the commercial platforms. We're talking up to $500,000. On the other side, you've got the CodePulse approach, which maxes out at under $15,000. That right there is your 95% savings. It's an absolute game changer.
So the big question is, how on earth is a 95% saving even possible? Well, the secret is in a totally different architecture. Instead of one single, clunky, one-size-fits-all machine, CodePulse works like a highly specialized team of autonomous agents.
This is what's called a multi-agent system. Now, the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of having one giant program trying to do everything, you have a team of smaller, independent agents, and each one has just one specific job to do. Think of it like a crew of highly efficient specialist robots all working together to get a complex job done.
And this is the CodePulse team. You've got the coordinator, who's kind of like the project manager running the whole show. The repository agent is your data scout, going out and gathering the intel. Then you have your expert inspectors for code quality and security, a performance analyst for metrics, an AI strategist to find the really deep insights, and finally, a report generator to communicate it all back to you. Each one is a master of its own craft.
All right, so you've met the team. How do all these agents actually work together? Well, the whole process is orchestrated in 3 really simple phases.
Whoa, okay, I know this diagram looks a little intimidating at first glance, but it's a perfect picture of the workflow. You can see that coordinator agent right at the top, acting like the conductor of an orchestra. It's directing the whole flow of information, telling each specialist agent exactly when to do its job. But don't worry, we can make this a lot simpler.
In reality, that whole complicated diagram boils down to this easy 3-phase pattern. First, the repository agent goes out and collects all the raw data. Then, and this part is key, the specialist agents for quality, security, and metrics all work in parallel. They analyze everything at the same time. Finally, the insights agent takes all of that information, synthesizes it, and uses AI to find the hidden patterns and give you actionable recommendations.
Now we get to the really good part. Let's connect this much smarter architecture directly back to those incredible cost savings we talked about.
This is the number that changes the entire equation. But the real question is, how does a different architecture actually lead to a 95% price drop?
Well, it comes down to 3 main things.
First is orchestration control. You only run the analysis you actually need, right when you need it. No more paying for constant, wasteful background processing. Second, LLM flexibility. You are not locked into some expensive proprietary AI model. You can plug in Gemini or even a free open source one. And third, custom agents. You can add or remove capabilities whenever you want, which means you only ever pay for what you truly use. It's that simple.
You know, at the end of the day, this whole thing is about more than just saving money. It's about a much bigger idea, democratizing development intelligence. So, who really stands to benefit from this new way of doing things?
Well, pretty much everyone who's been priced out of the market until now. We're talking startups that need to move fast but can't afford a $50,000 annual bill, open source maintainers who need to see what's happening across all their community projects, big enterprises that need custom metrics the other guys don't offer, and of course, any organization in a regulated industry that needs absolute control over their data and their infrastructure.
This quote from the project's creator just nails the whole philosophy. This isn't about building a cheaper clone of something else. It's about completely rethinking what development intelligence should be. It should be modular, it should be adaptable, and it should be financially sane.
And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. After seeing all this, take a hard look at your own tools. Is your team paying an unnecessary tax just because you're locked into a vendor? Because as CodePulse shows us, there just might be a much, much better way.